You may be wondering, what am I looking at? Well, it's Andrew Tate, and that is one of his recent quotes. Who is Andrew Tate, you may be thinking? Well, he's a human trafficker. Let's get back to the quote. So, if you are straight, you're gay. But what does this mean? Well, the answer is pretty simple. It means, well, to be honest, it means nothing objectively. But let's talk about the manosphere and the toxicity of alpha male culture. Being straight is gay. And I'm not the one who says this. Actually, this is coming from the manosphere guys because they're trying to politicize what you can and what you cannot do. They want to make you think that if you behave differently, you're not actually straight, you're not masculine, because you cannot cover your face like this because that makes you a non-man or gay, as they say sometimes. They talk about homosexuality quite a lot, even more than gay guys do, which is kind of ironic to be honest. And sometimes they even sound like they are gay themselves, writing stories about alpha beta males doing stuff together. And let's get back to Andrew Tate for a second. He's talking about sex. He, a well known rapist and a human trafficker, definitely knows about sex, right? Ron. Toxicity is something that unites all females online. And let's take a look at some of the tweets they sent. They want other people to feel inferior for something they cannot change. And sometimes they even beefing with other alpha males. But it's not always that serious. Sometimes even Elmo gets in the line. Like, who the hell is beefing with Elmo? He's just a little guy. But does this toxicity mean they're immune to words and such? I wouldn't say so. In fact, they're very fragile. This is why sometimes people talk about fragile masculinity. Like, take a look at this guy. He's talking about wanting to beat women just because they call him fragile. But is beating women a masculine thing? Well, it's not. And since we're talking about women and women being bad by these guys, let's talk about this for a bit more. And let's start talking about it since the age of which women are worthy by these standards. It used to be 25, then it slowly moved to 23, and now let's take a look at this. They say that 22 is the limit. It's very slowly getting to the age of consent, huh? And they want to politicize what women can or cannot say. Why? Well, they want to stay in the position of power, of course. They want women to be controlled. And then sometimes they're making up weird scenarios in their heads about women doing things that align with their mentality. Not women's mentality, in fact, but the masculine mentality of these men who are talking about it. And let's talk about femininity and feminism for a bit. Well, feminism is not bad. Femininity isn't bad, but toxic men sometimes want people to think it is because they want people to think that what they're doing to women is what women want to do to men. And let's talk about toxic masculinity a bit too, because it's a very important thing in this discussion. Well, toxic masculinity is in fact a thing, and it's a very toxic thing. But not all masculinity is toxic because a red car Does not imply that all cars are red, right? But many of them are, and it's bad. And toxic femininity. Well, it's not really a thing because there's nothing inherently violent about femininity. And women being feminine is not toxic, but men being overly masculine may be. And let's talk about the alpha male, beta male bullshit. Well, what does this mean? This means that they are possessing some criteria that they think makes them better than everyone else. They want you to think so, because otherwise you will see how pathetic they truly are. But at the same time, they want you to think that you are pathetic, because you don't own what they own. But what's more important is what's inside of you, and not what's outside. And they want to politicize your actions, the way you think, the way you live. It's their goal to make you feel miserable. And look at this, he thinks he can stop his heartbeat at a mere thought, or that he can cure depression by simply not believing in it. These men are delusional, and yet so many people support them. And I cannot grasp the concept of it. I cannot. And also, they keep telling you what is masculine, what is not. Sometimes it's getting over to the news. But why would this be in the news though? Right? And a lot of people making fun of them, but yet it does not lower the support for them. Executions are masculine. Well, they aren't. They simply aren't. And sometimes even women get a hold of this and talk about things like the in the Manosphere and spread this disease. Well, and the goal is to make you feel miserable, to make you want to be like them, to grow toxic, to grow violent. But is this what you truly want? Because it will only make you lonelier. And the lonelier you become, the more you want to be like these successful men. Well, not you, of course. I bet you don't want to be like some sort of loser who only talks about how much they hate women, how much they hate the world. No, no, of course not. Because you see the pattern, you know, because these people only want the worst for you. And they are only doing it for profit. That's all they want. That's all they need. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and expect some similar content in the future, alongside with gaming, and yeah, that's about it. See you in the next one. Bye!